If you got some background noise in your life, just put yourself on mute for the rest of
Wait,
us.
Okay.
wait.
I'm about a vessel. We're gonna put that in the next chapter of the book.
I like it
Okay, can you say it again for me now?
If
because
you
we
got some
live.
background noise in
Ooh.
your life, just go ahead and put
Mhm.
yourself on mute.
We just gonna mute
Because
out
we don't really
everybody.
need to pollute the world with,
Wait, look.
all
Okay,
your background
Cindy, is it
noise.
okay? Oh, look, she entered herself. I want you to
Ooh,
know I
how's your
did not
light,
enter her.
Queen? You were so close. Back up a little bit, Shonda. That's right. Thank you for putting yourself on mute.
Oh, you found a
Oh,
hallway.
that's the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, she found a
Wait, Ryan
yes.
said she found a
Found
hallway.
a lit hallway. That
She got
works.
a little oh, she's gonna stand.
Front somebody front porch right there. Keep it there.
Ooh,
All right.
yes. If you do that, Shonda, then you really catch the light.
Yes. Matter of
Yes,
fact, put,
that's ooh, look
there
at
you
God's
go.
child.
Head up, chest up. There you go.
That's right.
Wow.
Anytime you
Look,
speak, Donna,
Right
you
there. That's it right
chin
there.
up.
You stay right here.
Man, you
Yeah.
lit.
You
You
ain't got
lit
the
right
tilt
now.
toe though, because I know it's
with
gonna burn
the
your
with
calves.
the echo hallway. The
She
echo
lit.
hallway. Yeah, she lit. But
Metaphorically and literally, she lit.
as a
Yes.
matter of fact, we have a full house. Let's go around the room. Cindy, where are you reporting from?
I am currently in I had to think
Look, she
about
had to
it.
think
Durham,
about it.
North Carolina. Last night I was in Charleston. The night before I was in Atlanta. The night before I was in Mississippi. The night before I was in
In Atlanta,
Chattanooga.
didn't ain't wave, ain't say nothing.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
You
just
know how
messing
many
with you.
balls I dropped that day? So many. So
Uh-oh.
many balls. People are
Damon,
mad with me right now.
listen. Are
It
you coming
happens
to
like that though,
Miami?
Sydney. It's like that sometimes.
Are you
Yeah,
coming to Miami at all, Sin, or no?
in November.
For my birthday? Oh my God. For
It
my
might be your
birthday.
birthday. I think it's like November 2nd or
Cindy, stop. You're lying.
but
Like, just like
I'll
the
be
whole
performing,
show.
so I've got to check the dates. If you go to disneyprincessconcert.com, you'll find out when I'll be in Miami.
All right, Disney. Okay.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Shonda, let everyone know what you just went through in the past hour.
First of all, we don't have time for what I just went through. My day started at 4 a.m. I had flight delays. I got detained by immigration and customs. I had turbulence on the plane. I squeezed the poor baby hand next to me. She probably about tired of me. It was a day, but I am here. I know I'm not real lit up. It's okay because I ain't got no makeup on anyway, so it's good. I'm here though. I made it. I'm here, boss lady.
Oh, yes, you are here. Thank you very much, Shonda. And everybody, we have special guests. We have Damon Thomas, who is our mental health specialist and founder of Men Encourage. Damon, let him know where you're reporting from.
Atlanta, Georgia. ATL.
Yes. And
ATL.
tell us quickly, we're going to talk about it later, but tell us just a 30-second pitch about Men of Courage.
Men Encourage is an organization that I created 12 years ago, basically providing services to underprivileged young boys and girls, the youth, adult men and women who cannot afford therapy.
Wow. And we're going to get into it later. Thank you for joining us, Damon, as always. And guys, we have a special guest also, Mr. Ryan David. Everybody give it up for Mr. Ryan David. To me, he is the YouTube influencer, leadership and lifestyle coach himself, Mr. Ryan David. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, everybody? First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your guest on your show. And Damon, man, that's some amazing work that you're doing, man. We just met today, but I think that's amazing
Thank
that
you.
you're involved to that extent, man. So, real quick, a little bit about me. Ryan David, aka Mr. AB. I'm a psychology professor, and my coaching and speaking business is the Ryan David Foundation. So, little mixed background, K through 12 school counselor, right out of college, master's degree in school counseling, undergrad in psychology. So I've done my time as a school counselor in the school system, and then started my own coaching business, and I'm a professor now. So a little bit of everything there as far as the background is concerned.
I mean, y'all just do it all. We are so glad to have the men on here because what we're going to talk about needs two different perspectives. We have the women. You see the women on top because we own this. Yes, women, one time for us. And then we have the men that's joining us as our guests. But tonight, guys, we're just going to jump right into it because I promise you, we are not going to talk about this all night. But of course, last week, we did not go on air. So, of course, we could not talk about, we didn't know on Sunday night that something huge was going to take place at the Oscars, right? So we all heard the slap around the world, which was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. So, of course, let's just jump right into it because I promise you guys, we could talk about this topic. There's so much into this all night that we could talk about. And the first thing that I want to do, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this. I'm going to treat this like a panel. I'm going to throw questions at you guys, and I'm going to also show a show of hands. So the first thing is, do you think Will was wrong? And this is for our guests that are watching, because I want to do a tally at the end. Put in the comment field if you are Team Will. That means that you agree with what Will did and how he handled that, because there was a comedian that he thought went too far by insulting his wife. And there's a saying, where you show out is where you're going to get it. If you are Team Will, put the hashtag in the comments. Now, if you are Team Chris, that means that you are a comedian. You know that this event is about roasting, and it was just a joke, and you didn't know that she had alopecia, and you still handled the reaction and the slap with grace and continued the show. Which one are you with? So, panel, show of hands. I want to see this so we could just knock this out. Raise your hand if you think Will was wrong. Go.
Is this even a question?
It's a question. Let's see. And by the way, audience, we're not all in agreement. I don't know what's about to happen. Raise your hand if you think Will Smith was wrong. Go.
Again? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we got 3. I'm gonna save my vote for last. So
you didn't vote.
I didn't vote. And I'm gonna
Damon,
tell
you didn't
why.
vote, Damon.
No, that means he didn't raise his hand. He agrees with Will Smith. Let's go at it.
Ain't no way that man agrees with Will Smith.
I don't think. Okay, TK, hold on one second. Hold on one second.
I'm a little on the fence too. I'm on the fence.
I don't. Yeah.
First of all, I think your question might be a little leading.
A little bit.
So
tell me how I can fix it. Go ahead, Sid.
We want to make sure that we're being led to have a free conversation, right?
Okay.
So do we think that Will Smith was wrong? That doesn't feel like that was your initial question.
So I'm gonna back it up, and I'll ask it like this. Do you think Will Smith was wrong for slapping Chris for what he said live on TV? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so now with that being said, raise your hand. Okay. Well, damn, y'all need to tell me the difference. What was the difference?
There's a difference between. Okay, go ahead, Shonda.
Go ahead, Cindy. Okay, go.
So, okay, I'm gonna give my point of view because it has changed somewhat since this week has passed, right? So I get Will. I don't know. I get him being offended by it because when you do love your spouse, you want to take up for them. But I don't and will never want my husband to do what Will did to defend me. And saying that because there has been in circumstances I've been in, and my husband was at this close to tell somebody new behind. But because I'm involved with that group, I asked him not to. So he said, well, I'm gonna remove myself and I'm not coming back anymore because I keep seeing it. I'm gonna do something about it. I appreciate him coming to me about that because y'all know George. It'll take him months about his wife and his children. So I had to calm him down about that. So I get the anger and I get someone taunting or Chris doing his job. I don't think he meant it intentionally. I don't think that he would sit there and pick on somebody on purpose. But that's his job. Number one. Number two, he been talking about y'all for years. Y'all set y'all ass right there. I'm sorry. Y'all sat right there in that front row knowing he gonna say something about you. So how about don't sit there or have a discussion beforehand that maybe our jokes are off about me and my family. I don't know, but it's not the first time Chris has done that to them. Maybe not in that manner, maybe not at her illness or is it an illness? Alopecia illness or whatever it is, but they know that he does that to them. It's not the first time, and maybe it'll be the last. It's not the first time. But Will cannot take out his anger and frustration at the Oscars, on the stage. That was the wrong place, wrong time for that. He could have met Chris in the parking lot if it was that serious. He didn't have to do it right then. It was embarrassing. I felt embarrassed. They were laughing afterwards. I didn't like it. I get him feeling that way, but I didn't like the way he handled it.
Okay, so I took a tally on both Facebook and Instagram, and I want to show the results. Okay, so this is the first one that I'm showing is actually on Instagram. Do you think Will was wrong? 36% said yes, and 64% said no.
Let me tell you something. That 64% ain't gonna change their mind. If you they already know that's it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Nah, I'm gonna wait till my turn to talk. I just can't believe it.
and then on Facebook, look how opposite, right? And Cindy, you talked about this. Is about the demographics. It's older crowd on Facebook. It was 64% said no, and 36% said yes. Cindy, why do you think there's a difference in demographics?
I think the Instagram population, or I'll start with the Facebook population. The Facebook population is an older crowd, a more seasoned crowd, a more controlled crowd as far as controlling their reactions to things. Whereas maybe the Instagram crowd is a little bit more reactionary in the moment, instantly, quick to react, not so quick to process. So depending on the audience he was trying to engage, he'll get the particular answer. It's interesting though. It's really interesting who sort of is really for the slap or for correction in the moment, because those things have consequences, and you're not really thinking about the consequences when they're occurring in the moment, when you're reacting in the moment. If you're taking a couple of breaths, you can sort of think things through. So it's we're in a really sensitive time right now.
I know, right? So Ryan, I have one for you, but let me show you what I gathered. It says Will claims, I'm sorry, here, let me read this part. There are claims that Will Smith that he needs to undergo therapy to resolve issues from his childhood.
Good.
Chris's joke reminded him of seeing his mom getting abused by his dad.
That's a stretch.
And I put this on the chat with the girls, and I want to throw this question to you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Do you really think this is an excuse for his behavior, or do you really think he really did get? Because I hear about traumatic things and triggers. Do you really think that was a trigger? Tell me your honest opinion.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't believe that had anything to do with his past, with his mother, what he's saying. It has nothing to do with it. That's my professional opinion.
Ryan?
I think Damon will agree with this. Any excuse to go to therapy is good enough excuse for me. Go to therapy. I don't care what your reasoning or your excuse is. That's fine, as long as you're going, first of all. Now, as far as why, if we're going to talk about why, I agree with Damon 100%. This whole idea of getting triggered, and even the words themselves reminded him of his mom getting abused. Verbally abused? Is that what he was implying there? Like, I don't understand the word abuse at all as it relates to what he witnessed or saw or experienced that night. There was no abuse, physical abuse that night. There were words. So I got a whole lot to say about this, but I'll say this first. First and foremost, I'll say this. It's funny or interesting about this topic because on one hand, there's really not a lot to talk about with this incident. But on the other hand, there's a lot to talk about with this incident. It's Talk Miami, so we're going to talk about it. But as far as there not being a lot to talk about, my stance is this, and this should really put it to rest, and then we can dissect why it might be any different than someone might see it differently. Fundamentally, you don't ever use physical violence as a consequence or a result or an action against words. Like it doesn't, you can't find not one place in existence where a physical word, unless it's hate speech, where it's an actual threat of physical violence on someone, but a word or words rely on your perception to then experience threat. So that's where that's where the exception lies here. No matter what anybody says, as long as it stays in a word formation, you will never be physically harmed. So the fact that Will took physical violence, physical harm, a physical altercation ensued because of somebody else's words, that's a non-starter. I mean, there's no conversation there. We can analyze and dissect the whys, and I agree with Shonda in terms of somebody having your wife's back if there's an issue and wanting to stick up for them. And then you can go to how does he handle it? Does he take the privileged and the elitist approach of doing this on a stage where Chris Rock doesn't expect it and he's going to get away with it if he does it, and then sits back down? Or does he see him backstage? Does he see him outside? Does he have a conversation with him? Like, there's so many ways to handle it. But for me, fundamentally, it's a non-starter of a conversation as far as was he right by using physical force to address words that were spoken. Like, that's just fundamentally a non-starter. Then you can get into analyzing Will, which I could have a field day about that, because I agree with Damon. Anything that he got triggered about as far as therapy and all this stuff like this, and even just getting up out of his seat to hit Chris, like, if you've been paying attention at all to even the publicity that marriage has gotten, but if you just look a little bit further, and then if you listen to his acceptance speech, Will is a broken man, and you could have known this for a long time. So what he did was he took out, and listen, let me back up. This whole Team Will, Team Chris thing, I understand that. You gotta understand. There's favoritism and celebrity there.
There's three sides to every story, Ryan.
There's a lot of people who are fans of Will Smith that are going to just take his side because they're fans of his, and I get that. You can't even participate in that conversation. But this isn't football. You know, it's not Will against Smith. This is really in terms of like a bigger issue here we're looking at. So I'll wrap up what I'm saying with this. Will getting up out of his seat and going and putting his hands on Chris Rock had really nothing to do with Jada as much as it did his own inferiority complex. And now he found an external subject to basically transfer and project his embarrassment, shame, and insecurities onto somebody else. That's really what that was about. What do you think, Damon?
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Amen. Before you answer that, I'm going to have you answer this video. Watch this.
Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Will Smith today is someone who should be pitied. When Chris Rock first makes the joke, Will laughs, but then he looks over and he sees that his wife does not find the joke funny. We saw the real Will Smith, an incredibly broken man that looked to their more domineering wives with their tails planted firmly between their legs for instruction. Will Smith has been spiritually annihilated by his wife. Jada carried out an extramarital affair with a young man who was at first friends with her son. Then she dragged her puppy dog husband out onto the world stage and told the public while making him sit through it.
What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good. But I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
We wish you luck, Will, on your real life pursuit of happiness.
Comment. Do you agree with that?
With the video?
Yes. Okay, tell me.
In what aspect are you asking? Do I agree with it? In what way?
Because I actually really don't. I'm gonna say this. I really don't like Candace Owens. She is really not a part of the Owens family. But in that sense, I do feel like it is something more deeper than what we saw. I believe when you guys say he's a broken man, do you guys believe he just took out his frustration and his hurt on Chris?
And this is the thing. This is how I feel. This is the thing when it came to that night. And like Ryan said earlier, this man is broken. He's hurt. He's embarrassed, and he's mentally exhausted. I mean, you got to understand.
Well, who isn't?
But this is the thing. It's still no excuse for what he did. I'm not saying that.
Right. I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But my thing is, I believe that he was totally fed up with all the accolades over the years.
Yeah, he's exhausted in that domain of his life, Shonda, that particular domain, and then this struck a chord in that domain.
And trying to be that perfect husband.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That perfect father. And we all know the Smith family, what's going on. We already know he had issues with the two younger kids, the way their lifestyles are, and then just trying to be protective as a father and say, you know what, we this perfect family. So when Jada started talking about, oh, this is going on with entanglement, this is going on here, it kind of like, was he shocked? No, but he was totally, I believe he was really surprised by the fact that it would get out like this in the way it did by layers. And at the end of the day, when that night came, guess what? He was already full by then. So now here, Chris Rock is saying what he said. And like you said earlier, TK, in the early broadcast, this is nothing new. Chris Rock have said several things about Jada, but that was his point, breaking point. He could not handle it anymore. And my thing is this: you're in the public eye, and when this kind of stuff go on, the infidelity, all this stuff is going to come out eventually. So my thing is, you have to be careful who you take it out on. I think he handled it very, very incorrectly. I wouldn't have done that as a man with my wife. And anybody who know me, I'm just that dude. I'm a protector first, but I would have handled it backstage. I would have handled it later that night. We would have talked about it, but I would have never, this is me, went up on that stage and did what I did. I believe that he felt as though he had a point to prove to Jada in the world that he's that man.
100%.
And you don't have to do that.
I have a question. What do y'all feel about him? Do y'all feel that? Because someone told me that he laughed first because it was a residual laugh from the.
You ain't see it?
No. I'm saying they're saying that his laugh was residual from the last joke. That he really wasn't laughing at that joke. I thought he was laughing at the G.I. Jane joke.
Yeah, sure.
I think so too. Yeah. Cindy, I have a question for you. You're in the entertainment world, and we know how hard it is for celebrities, and everybody has troubles. All marriages even have troubles. But when you're a celebrity, it's played out in front of the world. But now that this happened to Will, is it fair for Hollywood to cancel him? And so I don't know if you guys heard, Netflix is looking at pausing his new movie. They're even pausing Bad Boys 4 right now. Cindy, do you think it's shocking? Or do you think he does need to deal with consequences for his actions?
I mean, I believe that this is, unless there were, listen, I've been a big fan of Will Smith and his work over the extent of his career. I am a fan of Jada and Will putting their business out there and showing the world that they're not perfect, as they have been sort of pitted as Hollywood's dream team couple. They're not perfect people, and their marriage isn't perfect. Will has trauma. I listened to his autobiography, and I hope to work with them one day. You know, I really love their messaging and love what they're doing, especially for the Black community and telling stories. And Will Smith did win an award for being a positive male figure, which in the historical situation of the Oscars, many Black men who receive these awards aren't necessarily rewarded for playing a hero.
Right.
That said, yes, I think the slap got away from him.
Yes.
A weird moment.
Thank you.
Also, unless there's more evidence of and allegations of him acting violently toward other people, I do not think that that the consequence of him being completely canceled is necessary.
Thank you. I totally agree.
Go ahead, Damon.
I totally agree. And you know what? I'm gonna say this real quick. I had a meeting day with Russell Aaliyah, R&B singer Aaliyah. I had a long 2-hour meeting with her uncle today. I'm actually writing a book for one of the artists, but we talked about this briefly. And this is one of the things I want to read real quick, and I don't want to forget. Him and I was talking about it. It said, Will Smith has been a substantial pillar in the Black community for 3 decades as a man, as a father, as a husband, and more. He steps out of character once in 30 years, and now he's a bad role model. That's my biggest thing. What he did, yes, is wrong. But does all these shows Netflix? I disagree with that. That's just me. No,
I disagree too. I don't think they should take away what he's worked for, what he's done. We've all made mistakes. Right. If I start to tell y'all what I did or did, back in the day, I wouldn't have probably some of the stuff I have. But just because his is out on the forefront, he had a moment. He was wrong, dead wrong. It was disrespectful. I was embarrassed for them. I was embarrassed. What he's done? No, he is an awesome actor, and whatever else he does for his community. But he made a mistake. Can we call it a mistake? He was wrong.
Yeah.
He should do his therapy. He should, apologize to Chris maybe at another time, or what publicly. You embarrassed him publicly. Apologize to him publicly. Do something, but don't take away what he's worked for. I think that's going way too far.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Shonda, I'll throw this last question at you before I go around the room.
TK, you're gonna come back to me about that, all that. I just have one thing to say. I don't want to cut Shonda off.
Come on now, don't wait.
Go ahead, Ryan. Let you jump in before I throw her a question. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, Shonda. Just
Ryan say, you got me on here. You better.
So I wish somebody else besides Candace Owens said what Candace Owens said.
Right.
And I wish that because I wish it could have resonated
Because I can't stand
more. I wish it could have resonated on a more neutral stance, because we have biases and stuff like that. What's funny is I actually said and echoed some of the same things that she said prior to me even see her say that. Like, I put a tweet out about my response to Will, and then I saw her and I'm like, say what you want about her. And she was poking and prodding, and she says things in a particular way to try, and they do what they do. These people in the public eye, and they know what they're saying. But if you just strip away her opinions, her back, if you look at the content, I think we kind of heard the content. She was getting at something that I think has a lot of truth to it. And that's what I was saying, which is what state he was in. Now, like Cindy said, nobody's perfect. Couples have issues and so on and so forth. So I was going to say that about Candace's video, because I saw it after I said some of the same things I said. My boys, I wasn't watching. I was cleaning the house, and the group chat started blowing up, and they said something about a slap, and I got a quick clip of it, and they all thought it was fake. And I default everything on the internet's fake until proven otherwise. Like, it's 2022. So I looked at it, and right away I said, that's real, y'all. Like, that happened. And then I turned the TV on because I'm like, I got to see what's popping. I saw the acceptance speech after he won. That sealed the deal for me. 100% real. Everything he was conveying at that moment, it was all coming out, and it explained what he just did and what state he was in. So I was like, all right, I had my thoughts right away. And I said in the group chat, right when he just gave that speech, during his speech, I was like, that's a broken man, y'all. That man is broken.
That's what I think we witnessed.
Something.
That's what we witnessed.
That's what I knew. And you noticed that real quick. You noticed that Jada's not the one searching for God and trying to be a vessel and trying to find her way. And she ain't the one trying to figure things out like that. Will is. And so Will's the one that's really struggling with things. So that's what I want to say about her, about the Candace video. The second thing, I wanted to echo what you guys said about the world we live in today in 2022, cancel culture. Listen, you knew this was going to happen. As soon as somebody does something in the public eye that's frowned upon, it's absolutely wrong. His behavior is how can we cancel this person? And I agree with you. I actually have never been a Will Smith fan. Like, I never got over the fact of him being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So when he got these more serious roles, I just couldn't turn the corner. I respect his work. But as a fan,
you couldn't turn the corner.
Couldn't turn the corner. Right. Every time I see this goofy clown, every time I watch, but I respect his work. That said, he does not deserve to be canceled. I think, like somebody said it, the canceling comes on when you find out background information about who somebody's been for 20 years and nobody knew until right now. It's like, oh, wow, that's who they are. You're done until you really turn the corner and fix who you are at the core that we know you've been for 20 years now. But one incident, absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, Shonda, I'm going to leave you with this last question. And of course, we have another topic we have to jump into. But Dr. Shonda, you are a wife. You talked about George being in that position. If Will had a second chance, how should he have handled that?
Will should have done what George was about to do. Only reason why George didn't get to that person because another man who loves George stopped him and said, don't do that. That's not cool. But he should have met him in the parking lot. Like I said, if it's that serious, it mean that much to you. You should have hollered at bro in the parking lot. Listen, I know these young jokes, my wife off limits. I'm going to ask you one more time. My wife is off limits. Let it be that. He should just say that man to man. Go to him, say something to him. I know this is your job, but I'm asking you man to man. My wife is off limits. Period.
That's right.
Because people don't play about their spouses and their children and stuff like that.
I mean, he could have said that in the moment as well.
Right. He should have sat there in the
on stage, said what he said, and walked off.
Right.
I want to shout out that Indy Annie Jones has made this comment. hell, what if it were Ricky Gervais? He says far worse about actors.
Mm.
There's a question about whether Will would have felt it appropriate if it were Ricky Gervais or another
Right.
a comic of another persuasion.
I got a question for you all.
Wait, Ryan, before you go, I want to say one more thing.
Mhm.
Somebody posted on Facebook, what if Ice Cube was telling the joke? Well, Will Smith would have still walked
No.
up there and slapped him.
So you guys really think it has something, not what you say, it was who said it?
I don't know. I'm
It was
just
a perfect
saying.
storm. Because I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was a female comedian that said it? First of
Right.
all, he wouldn't have
He
smacked
would
her,
have
right?
never did that.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
here's a think piece. Would Jada have got up and smacked her for what she said about her?
No.
So if Jada
No.
wouldn't have even got up to smack the comedian about what she said about her, why Will getting up to smack if it's not that deep?
Because
That's
it's
a good point,
different.
Ryan.
It's a difference because of what he's been dealing with.
What we
I
talked
said.
about.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's it. Well, guys, thank you so much. It's time. Last night, first of all, show of hands again, and we're gonna play this game. Who watched the Grammys last night?
I didn't.
I was in the
Look.
Bahamas. I want to start no Grammys.
So, speaking of that, we have Cindy up with her spotlight because if you did not catch the Grammys, Cindy's gonna bring us up into the now. What's going on, Cindy? What?
Grammys edition 2022, the 64th annual Grammy Award ceremony brought to you and hosted by Trevor Noah on CBS was last night. And y'all, I have not watched the Grammys that I've liked in a very long time. In fact, even last year's Grammys, it was virtual. So we watched it and it wasn't quite the right environment, right? But so this was the first Grammy Award ceremony after the pandemic where people could be in the room and you could actually feel those vibes. It was at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And I have a very special attachment to this particular ceremony because I am a voting member in the Recording Academy.
My God, you are a superstar. I just met you tonight. I heard your bio and now this.
This was my very first year as a voting member, and I got to do the entire process of going through all of the submissions, the thousands of submissions that come in through the Recording Academy for these nominations, and then dwindle them down and vote on these final categories. Not only did I vote in my category of Broadway, musical theater, and I think children's category and world music, and jazz, I also get to nominate artists or cast my vote for artists in the top categories: best album of the year, record of the year, artist of the year, etc. So I'm excited because I felt that my vote actually was considered during this particular ceremony. So I want to give a couple of shout outs to some artists that in the past have been nominated over 10 times, like Jasmine Sullivan, who received 2 awards last night, one for Best R&B Album and split in a tie with another group for Best R&B Performance. She is an incredible songwriter, an incredible singer, and she deserves these awards. She earned them, and she's well respected in the music community. Also want to give a shout out to Doja Cat. I'm a fan of Doja Cat. You know, there's the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and the Meg Thee Stallions, and then there's people who like Doja Cat. I am a Doja Cat fan. She's funny, she's creative, she's quirky, she's sexy, she's all those things that she makes me laugh. Also a great songwriter and very highly respected in the game is SZA. I love her vibe, and this was a really beautiful collaboration of Kiss Me More that won for Best R&B and Pop Duo Group, which hopefully one year Butterfly Black will be nominated for. I'm very excited about that. I'm dreaming. And we had a very special performance with 2 generations, the OG Nas and the Lil Nas X.
Yes.
No, Lil
Nas
Nas
got
X
dreads now?
got little wicks, you know. He's
Man,
doing
I
his
ain't
thing.
seen Nas in TV in a minute. He got dreads.
He's doing his thing. He's a mogul now, so you know.
Twist, huh? He's
Right
twisted.
off the chain.
If if Hove
see
got
them.
his little Basquiat, Nas got a little something on the top too.
You
And
know,
with Lil Nas X, we know that he puts on a really great performance. So I didn't include a clip this time because I didn't want to get flagged, but you can check out on YouTube Lil Nas X's performance of his hits. And I don't give a sugarfoot what anybody says. Lil Nas X brings a show. He
yes,
is
honey.
always
Yes.
his performance quality, his production quality, his the way that he creates his show is phenomenal every single time. So I don't give a crap what what people say about what community he represents or whatever it's wrong or right. His production quality is fierce. And Nas is an OG. We had some friends backing him up last night. We had Robert Glasper, Adam Blackstone was on bass, the MD, Robert Glasper, jamming, Terrace Martin, if you can see him on the saxophone in the back, and the brother standing up right behind is Keon Harold. These are all friends and incredible musicians in the game right now, really taking over. So Nas was backed up by a big band of all Black musicians, really bringing that excellence. And then we're going to talk about my favorite band of the year, Sonic.
Wait, did he really have that wig on?
When I tell you he looked like a cross between Bruce Lee, Ike Turner, and my Uncle Tony.
I look like Cuba Gooding Jr. with a wig on though.
Sydney, no.
It does look like
I
Cuba Gooding
said
Jr.
Anderson Paak. He looked like Lawrence Fishburne as
Yes.
Ike Turner,
That too.
and a little bit of my Uncle Tony.
I'm gonna tell your Uncle Tony.
It's turned into a roast.
And him and Bruno Mars opened up the ceremony with their hit song, with their hit band, because they currently have a residency in Las Vegas right now. And so they're killing it. They took home 3 Grammys last night, including Record of the Year for Leave the Door Open and for Best at the split that they share with Jasmine Sullivan for Best R&B performance.
Yay.
So very, very happy for them. But the biggest win of all, because and honestly, I voted for Silk Sonic, so I'm proud. I'm proud that my vote got counted. Speaking of votes being counted, a big win for Jon Batiste, who we may know as the resident music man of the Stephen Colbert Show. John has created his album We Are, and really you've heard his music all over commercials and TV, and he has really been doing it up big this year, and he's walked away.
I don't know about him. Am I the
He's
only one?
New Orleans, born and raised, Juilliard graduate, and
Nice.
and he's on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Oh, I need to do my research.
on
Okay.
CBS. He's an incredible talent, great showman, and an excellent musician. And he walked away with 5 wins last night, including Album of the Year. So very excited. Congratulations, Jon
Wow.
Batiste.
Right.
Real musicianship
Awesome.
coming to the forefront. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you what I didn't care for, because I didn't create a slide about it. I did not care for Justin Bieber. But I'm gonna hold on.
What song did he perform?
Let me go back
Okay.
and let me just say the good things. Let me finish up with my good stuff. The night was also brought in by CEO of the Recording Academy, Harvey Mason Jr. I had the pleasure of working with Harvey Mason Jr. on Jesus Christ Superstar in 2018. And he's a lovely human being, but also an incredible musician and professional and producer. And he is, along with his colleagues who are sharing the position of president of the Recording Academy, they are really bringing in serious change, creating diversity and transparency for the music industry and for artists. So this is my award show. You know what I'm saying? This is my award show. I'm really excited about it. You pay dues, you do your work, you get included, and you get active. And when you get active, things happen and things change. So I'm very excited about the work that the Recording Academy has been doing over the last 2 years since the pandemic. And okay, I will get to the thing that I did not like. I did not like Justin Bieber.
So did he perform?
Country performances. I love Carrie Underwood. I love her. I love Chris Stapleton. Justin Bieber performed with Giveon, Daniel Caesar, and an entire band that was great. And he was the worst performer on that stage. He sat at a grand piano, played a couple of chords, sang like crap. He did his song Peaches, mostly performed with his back toward the audience. It was terrible. They did do the memoriam, the in memoriam portion of the Grammys, where they pay homage to those we've lost.
Once he passed away.
Was a tribute to Stephen Sondheim, Broadway's godfather. He's produced, created, and composed many shows on Broadway. He is a legend, and he will be definitely missed and honored for his work. We had Leslie Odom Jr., we had Cynthia Erivo, Ben Platt, and oh my God, her name escapes me. She's the new she's the new Maria in the current West Side Story. And they did an incredible job. It's about true talent, true voices. The show was excellent. And if you get a chance, if you watched it on DVR, or if you're going to go back or watch the highlights, please do. That's my Cindy Spotlight.
Yes.
Do it. Cindy Spotlight.
Oh, we got our own jingle.
Okay. Also, Butterfly Black's record is doing really well.
Wait. Okay, sorry. No. Go.
I'm sorry. I just jumped through that in
there.
No,
go ahead.
Also, Butterfly Black's new single, I Just Want to Love You, is doing really well. We have over 15,000 views on YouTube for our official music video, and we are getting monthly listeners all the time. And our numbers are going up. So we really appreciate all of your support as we're building this brand new band. But by this time next year, I won't be on Talk Miami because I'm gonna be at the Grammys.
You're gonna be at the Grammys. From your mouth to God's ears, we receive that. Thank you, Cindy, for your spotlight. Tell us how we can find you for Butterfly Black.
You can check us out at Butterfly Black on Facebook, Butterfly Black Music, Butterfly Black Music on Facebook, Butterfly Black Music on Instagram. And if you type in on your wherever you get your music, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, etc., you type in Butterfly Black, not Black Butterfly. It won't come up.
I know, right?
Butterfly Black, I Just Want to Love You, and take a listen to our single and let us know what you think.
There it is. Love you, Sensen. Shonda, it's time to go to the corner. Cindy, give us some jingle music. Come on now.
Bow, 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 bow. You know she's coming.
Jingle is
that? Give it to you,
Ryan. We outnumbered.
If you don't want it.
1970s adult film jingle or something.
It's Shonda. Community corner.
Shonda.
We are outnumbered.
It's all yours.
We outnumbered whenever we're not outnumbered. You already know what time.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to bring y'all back into the number right now because I have been traveled to bury my father. I did not get a corner for tonight. However, we have two wonderful men who are helping our community and the men in our community, and I want them to elaborate on what it is that they do for our community corner tonight. We are going to start with Ryan David, aka Professor Ryan. Go ahead, let people know who you are, let them know how they can reach you and the services you provide.
Thank you, Shonda. First of all, rest in peace to Pops. Sorry to hear about that. I found out tonight. I'm glad that you're here. I didn't know you were dealing with that. So, you can go to my website and see pretty much a little more about me and what services I provide. Do coaching, life coaching, leadership coaching, public speaking events. I'm always glad to speak at any public speaking events. Professor at Miami-Dade Homestead campus. Anybody wants to enroll in any classes over there? I teach psychology classes over there. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, everything's the Ryan David. And just want to give a shout out to everybody listening tonight, everybody watching right now. I mean, it's anybody who's in the chat.
Our numbers are high tonight.
Whoever's in the chat, you know what I mean? I got a few people watching on YouTube here. I know it was a last minute thing. So just shout out to everybody who's involved and engaged.
That's
and
right.
Link up with me, follow me on IG. You can DM me there. We can link up there. We can talk about what I do. My website will pretty much give you a little more information about me, what I do. And like I say, public speaking events are always enjoyable for me, but I do coaching as well. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Let me just say that Ryan has been one of our facilitators 2 years in a row for our teen summit. He is awesome. He gets in it with the kids and they are always glued to what he's saying. So I appreciate you for volunteering because I ain't got no money. Volunteering.
Me and Ryan, she's gonna pay us next year, Ryan.
Yeah, me and TK. No, thank you for having me, Shonda.
I love y'all.
Ryan, what are some of the topics that you talk about?
Well, my emphasis is on personal leadership. I mainly talk about personal leadership is what I focus on. But I mean, I have everything from relationships to family to whatever it is. So my coaching is really individual one-on-one coaching. And then I take those topics of personal leadership and that broadens out to things like stress. And we do everything on how to handle that. We do large topics. So I have some of the different events I've done and some of the topics, speaking topics that I have available already on my website. But I'm always open to customize things too.
Thank you so much again, Ryan. I really appreciate you, and I hope we can have you join us next year for the Teen Summit. My little shameless plug. So next, we're gonna have Mr. Damon Thomas. Damon Thomas, I met him on social media a few years ago, and Damon's gonna kill me because we are now in 2022. And I have not finished my book yet, but I'm working on it. I wrote on the plane, Damon. I wrote on the plane. So we almost added a new chapter today.
I am not going to kill you.
So I appreciate you as well for coming on. Let people know what you do and how they can reach you.
Yeah, I'm Damon Thomas. First, I want to say thank you. You guys are phenomenal. Dr. Shonda Roberts, TK, Ryan, thank you. I appreciate meeting you tonight. Looking forward to other projects and other events like this broadcast. Miss Sydney Winters, I appreciate your knowledge and your expertise as well. It's just been wonderful. And like I told TK in the text, I'm actually in production for my documentary for my life right now. We're filming now until Sunday here in Atlanta. I have a team from New York that's here that's filming that. So when I got the text, I was like, I turned down all that stuff. Nope, not this way. Ain't doing nothing. But you guys, I had to say yes to. So I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So it's been a busy, crazy week. It's going to continue being crazy until Sunday. But I'm in Courage. I'm the founder of Men Courage organization. And basically, Men Courage is a foundation that I created 12 years ago, basically providing service for underprivileged youth, adult men, adult women who cannot afford therapy. I make sure their copays are provided for. I don't want to hear any male, any female, any youth saying they cannot afford therapy. And that's why I formed this organization. I've been financing it for 11 years. I'm honestly say with the help of God and myself. I have gotten donations here and there, but I will keep going and nothing has failed. And I thank God. This documentary is going to be powerful. I can't wait till you guys see it. I'm in schools. Shonda know, Dr. Roberts know, I'm in high schools. I was just added a high school, a month ago. So I'm doing high schools now, working with the men and the women. I'm also in elementary schools. We are in London. So this is what we do. You know, it's about giving back and helping the underprivileged. And that's what I'm all about. My ultimate goal has always been, just before I met Dr. Shonda Roberts on social media, is to open up a facility, an office, to come down there to provide services to these youth, to the men, to the adults, coming to colleges, in the high schools like Ryan is working in. That's my ultimate goal. I do it here in Atlanta. I do it in London. So my goal is now to come to your city. And after this documentary, guess what? We're going to be opening up 5 facilities.
That's right.
To provide services. Okay, so I'm excited. Thank you guys. I appreciate you always. Hey,
Damon, you're based in Atlanta, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm interested in partnering with you, man. I want to help. I want to get involved and do whatever I can.
I felt it in your spirit. I felt it in your spirit. Yes.
Yeah, I'm really interested in being a part of that.
Won't he do it?
I still got emotions and stuff in here. Don't make me cry.
Yeah, that's important, man. That's important. So whatever I can do to help, let's
you know what, guys? That's what this whole platform is about. We do this every Monday night, and I'll be honest, we did this a year straight. Going on May, we have not missed one Monday except for holidays. Right. But just letting you guys know how committed this team. I know, right? Last week. But just letting you know how committed this team is. Cindy is around the world. I'm sorry. Yes. My sister is international. Yeah, she is crazy. Around the world touring and still makes the time to log on here every Monday night. Sis, I appreciate you. Shonda went and flew to the Bahamas, buried her father, has been there for almost 2 weeks, just landed an hour ago and still made it on here tonight.
In the dark.
Damon in the dark. But we're gonna talk about that stripper pole later. But and then Damon, and then Damon, I know y'all, and then Damon is in full production and stopped filming just to be on here. I literally picked up the phone and called Ryan and asked for a favor, and he is here tonight. Guys, thank you. I started this, and that's what Ryan asked me. I started this show during the pandemic because, of course, I lost my job and I had nothing but time and opportunity. But I do this for a reason, because these are real stories. Right. We are real people trying to help. And guys, we need your support. We're thankful for you, the audience that's there for us every night. Every Monday, you guys are here supporting us. So we just want to say thank you. Shonda, thank you so much for your community corner. Ryan and Damon, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
We have 30-something viewers and 17 likes. Somebody ain't liking us.
All right,
give us a heart, a happy face, something. Because it ain't matching. It's not matching.
The number's not matching. We need to do a tally.
So I see our friends.
TJ said we need to do a tally.
Right.
I see our Talk Miami family.
Yes.
Wherever you're watching from, if you're watching from Facebook, you guys are right at the top bar. You get the emojis, whether you can like something or thumbs it up or give it a heart. Just keep tapping those emojis, and that's where we get to see the tally up here on the board.
We get high engagement numbers, right?
Yes,
when you guys give us hearts and likes and make comments. But guys, thank you. We do have another topic, and we're going to go around. All of you guys are going to get the same answer, or question rather. But I want to see what answer. Yes, Ryan.
Before you do that, just about what Cindy was just saying. Sure. You got a lot of people in here that really are passionate about what we're talking about too. So those likes and things, those are great, and they help the algorithm and feel good. But if you guys want to help and you can't even, if it's not even a financial thing, just share and spread the awareness of what we're all doing. Whether it's subscribing or reposting, following us, just get involved in terms of like a community feel. It doesn't cost you anything, and really sometimes you might share something that comes across somebody else and it circles back. So just, as much as you can, if you're really interested and you really want to help us out, that's a big deal right there.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this, and that's why I call Ryan a YouTube influencer. Ryan, how many followers you have on YouTube right now?
I got 10,500 subscribers, 10.5K subscribers on YouTube. And that, I don't got time to get into that story, but that was from 2 years of videos. And then I went ghost for a minute because I took the full-time professor position. And one of the reasons why I had to light a fire under my ass and I want to get on with you guys is because I need inspiration. I'm always looking for inspiration, through social media and things like this. And this really gets me back into the studio I want to start pumping out more content. So, but I
bring that up, Ryan, because I also have a dear friend of mine, Annie, who's also watching. She has over 5,000 that she got like in 2 years. Mm-hmm. So between Ryan and Annie and Cindy, you have some great followers all over. Help me even out. We've only been doing this for 9 months. Annie was giving me some tools of how to engage more on YouTube and get higher subscribers. So let's all talk after this to help one another. And I really am open to
I'm always available.
Your ideas.
Just reach out, all of y'all. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, guys, let's get into that second topic because I'm going to go around the room. And this actually came out of the Will and Jada story. So hear me out. Topic number 2. Does it really matter what people say or think about you? Are you one of those that really don't care and it doesn't bother you? Someone can even be going around with a rumor, saying a bad rumor about you and knowing that it's not true. Does it really bother you what they're saying? Or do you really take heart in what they're saying and it really crushes your feelings? Which one are you? And the reason why I bring this up, guys, is because Jada, 4 days before going to the Oscars, she went on Red Table Talk talking about her haircut and how bold she was. And she actually said this, and I quote, "I don't give 2 craps what people think of this bald head." So was she really upset or rolling her eyes about what Chris said? Does it really bother you? Because in this case, it did. So Damon, because I'm going to just go around the room and how I see it. Think about it, Damon. Has anyone ever said anything about you? Do you try to play tough and act like it doesn't bother you? Or does it really bother you?
No, I don't play tough. What I do is I'm the type of person, I go to the source. If I get a call or a text, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll be 54 in October. Probably
looking like you 30. Don't even play with me, bro.
What?
You are not no 54.
54 in
Okay.
October. I'll be 54 in October. And I would say I've been blessed, and I would say 10%, 15% of my life has been yeah. But I'm the type of person, when I hear it, I get on the phone. What's the problem? We got it. We have an issue. 9 times out of 10 is jealousy. You unhappy. And I say, look, I'm done with it. Don't look. I'm the type of person where, let me tell you something. You will get served by my lawyer, cease and desist letter. I don't play them games. So that's just me in a nutshell. So it doesn't bother me because I know who I am. For instance, somebody can inbox you or Dr. Shonda, Sydney, say, oh, this Damon Thomas, he this. My thing is, I expect for you guys to say, look, I just heard something about you. Wait, that's how, and vice versa. I go to the source. Okay, what is going on here? I have never had any issues like that. No, but do I care about it? Of course we care, because we're human, and it's the magnitude of it for me. If someone out there, my organization, my company, my name, oh, I'm coming at you. But yeah, so yeah. It does. It would affect me, but I had learned over the past 15 years that all this he say, she say stuff, which I don't get into, it doesn't affect me. No, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me now, because I handle my business.
There it is. Cindy, I'm going to throw a different, well, it's the same scenario, but let's talk about Lizzo. Lizzo goes out there and she puts on these outfits that's showing her body, and she's a plus size woman. She throws it out there for us to see. But then when someone puts comment and body shame her in her comments, not all of a sudden she want to cry. Which one is it? So do you understand her putting herself out there, but then she's allowing what people say to affect her? How do you feel about that?
There's really just no such thing as I don't care what people think.
I'm with you on that one. Go ahead.
I don't really think that's a thing. You know what I mean? I sort of believe that when you decide that you're going to put yourself out there, it's much more well received if you have a story behind it and the why you're putting yourself out there. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's not a why. People will connect with you and empathize with you and sympathize with you and see your side of the story if you share your side of the story, you know? And Jada has talked about her alopecia or talked about her hair journey publicly, whether this is an alopecia journey or she just wants to rock a baldy for a minute. That's her business. You know, there's not enough context behind any of this, any of these things. There's a lot of optics, so people can draw their own conclusions. But I think there's no such thing as I don't care what anybody else thinks. Now, the whole body shaming thing, listen, you put yourself out there without context.
Come on now.
And yet, even if you do, people are going to still say what they're going to say. The I don't care is a defense mechanism.
Yeah, because we really do. I'm so sorry. I ain't want to say it.
We all do. We care what everybody thinks. Period.
I'm gonna save my answer for last, Dr. Shonda. Because look at this one. Look at her face. Look at her face. Do you really care about what people have to say about you?
So I care who says it. If there's someone I care about, if there's someone in my circle, if it's about my money, if it's about my organization, if it's about my family, I care if someone comes and tell TK, Cindy, my friends, something negative about me. I'm gonna check them. I'm gonna make sure you know it's not true. If someone who has never met me, talked to me, said something negative to where it's not hurting me or hurting my brand, no, I don't care. I refuse to defend myself to people who don't matter. Now, if you matter to me, I'm gonna make sure you know that's a lie, a whole lie, and I'm gonna make sure you know we straight. Now, if I come to you and you still don't believe, that's on you. I can't say I care, because honestly, people that don't matter to me, I don't care how they feel if they've been in my presence and know the real me. If they just starting a whole lie, that's a whole nother scenario. I can lie on myself. Don't lie on me. I'm gonna tell you if I did something. I'm gonna tell you if I said something. I'm gonna tell you if I've been somewhere. because I'm at the point where I'm too old to try to remember a lie. I can't. I'm allowing myself. So
Like if you got my food when I come to Miami.
Right. I can't run around trying to figure out what lie I done told. If I said them, I said, you know what? Girl, that sounds like something I said. I probably did. I'm going to say if I said it. But if I didn't, I'm going to defend myself to people who I really care about and who I care think about me. You know what I mean? Someone told my husband something and I defended myself to him. That's my husband. So I have to make sure we're good. Somebody who I don't fool with, and he or she say something, child, they'll be all right. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm 45. I lived to see 90. I've lived half my life already. And I refuse to live it trying to prove myself to people.
To somebody else. It doesn't matter. That part. That doesn't matter.
Right.
Now, Ryan, when I first talked about this topic before we went live, you was like, I'm more interested in that topic than Will and Chris. Tell us why.
Yeah, I think because this gets to the crux of really what I'm all about, which is personal control of your own perceptions that really dictate your own emotions and your own world. I have a very particular take about this topic, and I have much more I could have said. I wish this was a 2-hour show. I could have talked about the earlier topic a little bit more. There's a couple interesting points. I was curious to see where you guys stood, but as far as this one, I have a very particular take on this topic of what other people think or say or feel about you and what they say. I actually did a whole YouTube video on it. And the name of the YouTube video is Why You Should Care What Other People Think About You, because there's a particular angle. I'll put the link to that video in the chat.
Please.
Yeah, I already had it locked and loaded for you guys. The reason why I say why you should care what other people think is because you have to think about the context of the information that you're receiving. I teach this as a lesson. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is there's a couple of them. First of all, what we're talking about here is feedback. And if we can understand that we're just talking about feedback, that takes a lot of the emotion out of it. The reason why people are so hesitant to, or I guess, affected by what other people say is because they see it and think of it as criticism. And they take the criticism to heart. They take it personally. They get emotional about it. But what it really comes down to is you have to understand that everyone else has their own perspectives and opinions that are limited to their frames. They're seeing you from a certain frame. What you have to do is be open to accepting whatever they're seeing, whatever they're giving you as feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. And then you take what they say and you decide what it means to you, what it's relevant, how it's relevant, and you throw it away. The problem is we have a lot of people that are not fragile. They're not secure enough to do that. They're fragile. And so when we say, who cares? Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. What other people think doesn't matter. That's what we tell children that are still building their self-regard. They're still building their self-esteem. We don't want anything interrupting their faith in themselves, their strength in themselves, their belief in themselves. Block out everybody else. Just focus on what your family's telling you and what you believe. That's important. That's what we tell children. But if you're a grown-ass adult, and you got some security about yourself, you're not insecure, you're not fragile, you're stable, you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you kind of want to grow a little bit. By God, you better welcome feedback because you're never going to grow. You have blind spots. The key is find some ground that you can stand on that you feel stable about, then go out and welcome the feedback. And you're going to get crap. You're going to get nonsense. You might even get hate, but at least you're secure enough to say, whoa, that's out of line. I'm not going to take that personally. Right. Dismiss that. They don't know me, like you were saying, Shonda. That's a little bit biased. That's out. But you first have to find that stability, that security about yourself first, that self-regard. Yeah. Then say, okay, I'm strong enough to handle what the world's going to throw at me. Then you go out, welcome it. As a professor, how can I get better if I don't welcome feedback?
That's right.
If I sit there and say, I'm already good enough, I don't really care what my students think about me. I'm an idiot if I don't care what my students think about me. Now, when they offer feedback, I take it with a grain of salt. This is useful. I'm going to think about this. That one I already know. That's my take on criticism or feedback. Call it feedback.
Hands down, this is about to end the show. We're going to end the show right there. Drop the mic.
And I don't care about I'm in the high schools and elementary school. I tell the high school guys, Ryan, I said, let me tell y'all something right now. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you get through this therapy, get through your trauma.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Right.
And he said what he said. Guys, oh my God. Ryan,
let's wrap this up.
Listen, look, let me.
Shonda got to go, but I'll stay here.
Shonda
she
gotta
got a
go,
poll to
y'all,
tend
because she
to.
just got off that. Her husband is standing right next to her, ready for her to hang up
What you
this
talking
phone
about?
because he
Sleep,
ain't seen
Damon.
her in 2
You
weeks.
better have my food when I come. I tell you that.
Man,
I don't know why
So
Damon
George,
talking about sleep. You think
exactly,
they in that
George, let
hotel
us.
to sleep?
Oh, Shonda, show that. What that the stripper pole?
That was for y'all
Well,
too.
it's live,
I don't
TK.
know what they're talking about.
Don't tell TK
Jacuzzi,
Nathan. You hear?
jacuzzi. Yeah,
Because
She's
we
in a
lied
hallway
to our
right now.
children. I told them I was at Cindy's house.
you told
Hey,
me you was at
Sean, you know
Cindy's.
what happened after he had that COVID when he came home? He was like, yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go.
All right, guys,
Use
we're
the
gonna
jet.
sign
I
out.
love
We
y'all.
want Cindy. Wait. We want Cindy to promote the show. Cindy, take us home right quick.
Shonda, use the jets. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Talk Miami on another Monday night. We are so happy to be back and large and in charge. Thank you, Ryan David and Damon Thomas, for joining us. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Talk Miami Talk Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Talk Miami Talk Show. And wherever you listen to your podcast, hit us up on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts at Talk Miami Talk Show. You can rewind this little segment if you like. Or if you can also go back a couple of months to hear that story about Sean at the time that George had the COVID and when he was on the breathing machine and he had a thing under his nose. That's one
Y'all
of the
don't even try to
highlights
call
for
Shonda or text
me.
her because she's gonna be busy
Don't
the rest of the night.
I'm
Bye,
about to hire
y'all.
Sydney. I'm about.
Add it up. Okay, alright.
Next week. Bye,
Thanks, everybody.
everybody.